Coke, you owe me a Coke.
Hello, people who are watching this but are not on the stream, like us going back and listening to it later. You also deserve to be greeted.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Future me's a bitch, and they deserve to die.
Damn.
Who?
Alright, that's all
What?
I had to say. Thank you.
That was it, bro?
They said
I
future
have an
them.
inspiration. Yeah, future them. Future me. So that when I'm listening to this later and I'm future me, then I can curse myself out in the past.
Mm. That's tech, bro.
But yeah, I have an inspiration, so I will hide in a corner unless otherwise.
I also have an inspiration.
I don't know what happened.
How? You were there?
Don't think I was I?
I don't think he was here last time, actually.
No, that was
Well-
Joey there last time.
Okay, then you're fine. But
Uh,
can anyone?
the
who
most
does not have-
significant thing I remember was some conversations from Ramiel. So
recap them. We all have
Ramiel burnt
inspiration.
bridges. Ramiel burnt many bridges.
Oh.
Nah, there was definitely some disagreements and views on things, and Ramiel seemed to gather as many as they could, like Pokemon.
Like
Oh.
Pokemon is crazy.
And they definitely didn't go run and hide by the end of things. But I don't remember the exact specifics. There's a disagreement on the views on our most recent crew member, I guess, now. Guest might be more appropriate currently. I don't know what the plans are there. But the child was picked up. Booker and Ramiel conversed about opinions and viewpoints on sticking their neck out for someone that's not part of the crew. And there was some heated words. That one's for you, Booker. But
Oh, thank you. But
yeah, I don't remember the exact specifics. I was out of it by that time of night, so I apologize. I'm not good at this recap thing. Someone else take over, please.
I think after that, from what I remember, also Ramiel had a conversation with Dahlia beforehand. I don't remember there was a discussion about Dahlia asking for Ramiel's, or Dahlia not believing Ramiel's name, and then there was a discussion about what Dahlia would do if she wasn't connected to Aquamarine. And she said
If
that
Dahlia and Aquamarine were not forced into a situation where they were functionally on the run, what she would be, and she says that she would just be Aquamarine.
Correct. Yeah. And then I think that was the major highlights from that conversation. And then besides the argument with Booker and Ramiel, Booker kind of bonded with the kid, who his name is Ren. And he kind of gave him a tour of the ship, and our crew members. He kind of introduced him to everybody. Ren seemed to know something about Ramiel, possibly, or he was like aware of what Ramiel had done on the planet, on the Quiet Ring. So interesting. And also Ren was like tinkering and building stuff, something he was working on. Ariana was working on a gun. Oh, and also Booker had a conversation with Zara about Zara's past, and we learned a little bit of what this treasure is that we're looking for, which is possibly something that can control fate or time to some extent. Zara told us that it could change essentially reality in some aspect. We're not quite sure, but that's a little bit of important information we learned about this treasure
Just a
we're
smidge
going
of
after.
important.
Just a, save that part for last, obviously.
Ah,
But yeah, that's kind of that's mostly what I remember, unless there's anything else I'm forgetting.
Dahlia doesn't like kids.
Oh yes, Dahlia does not like kids. The Ren is not allowed in Dahlia's room.
He's a mature 13 that we know of.
I don't care.
Yeah. Fair enough. A kid's a kid. You're absolutely right about that. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. We had a couple different dynamics.
We had potentially discussed in the days that had followed the session, given that we're all rolling up new to level 4 with new feats or abilities or spells or whatever, potentially doing more of the show and tell and sparring or whatever the case may be. Is there space for that, do you think? In whatever you have planned for tonight?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
do we want to...
I'm
Understood.
very flexible. I am willing to make space for, of course, anything that goes on. Like I said, this campaign is meant to go at your guys' pace, not mine. So if there's things that you guys would like to do, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, were any of y'all having some cool new stuff that you thought we wanted to feature?
Not quite yet as a fighter. I kind of just I
A sparring partner, a chance to, or is there like, is there anywhere on the ship, oh Dungeon Master? Do you would that be that'd be the spot?
Oh no, we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, we'll
dying.
say the rec room.
But yes, the rec room would be where it would be. I'm dying physically.
Don't do that.
I can hear Blue Jay dying as well.
Bro, both of you knocked that shit off, bro.
Every week, dog.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Dude, until we get past the goddamn allergy season, I'm just gonna continue to die. I don't have a choice at this point.
I really like that you go up the stairs, Wolf.
can't help it.
It's so good.
I am given
makes
a
me
little
so
token
happy.
to play with, and I do it every time.
It makes me so happy every time.
I also try to find a little spot on like the walls that looks like a door. So every time I enter a room, it's through one of those too.
Oh yeah. Whenever I'm tracking out like on a walk and talk and not the scene is starting with me here, I would absolutely trace out her actual course, find a corner of the room to position her little token in. Does Val take the stairs? Seems like the kind of creature who might just sort of like amorphously glide up the stairs a bit more than having to confront each step individually.
There's a bit of that going on for sure. He a lot of his movements are imitations of what he's seen from his brothers until he more recently is becoming more his own person, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But even I can't do their voices, but even in your heads when he replies to certain things, you'll notice the tone and inflection that imitate those two.
That's actually
Gotcha.
very cute.
Super cool.
He's a bit like a parrot sometimes.
I can't remember. Did Ariana finish her gun last session, or was it still in the process?
No, I probably still got to do some work on that. He made something too fucking big, and
Yeah.
Nyx promptly roasted him on it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
it
remember
needed
that
a
now.
little bit of work.
Aquamarine can help you with that in the meantime. Actually, Dahlia can as well. One of the new tricks that got picked up, which we'll have to talk about.
I would be back down in the maintenance hub, being a nuisance, a bandage-covered nuisance.
You'd get a appointment request to add to your calendar sent from Aquamarine to like show up to the rec space for some like weapon enhancement and chat.
Or, I suppose. Weapon is not done yet, but
And once you all reach the rec space, after her unintentional face reveal in from the Helios shard shockwaves blasting her into unconsciousness, Aquamarine standing in this space is not in her full heroic regalia. She is not wearing the cape. She is not wearing the uniform. Functionally, it is her armored pads, so you can see like demi-gauntlets, forearm bracers, knee pads, and a chest plate. But it is just like loosely strapped and tossed over simple casual clothing. And as Ariana approaches, she Aquamarine locks eyes with her and then slowly to everyone else gathered. We. Sorry. It's a bit weird to address. What I'm trying to say is I'm not a traditional part of this crew. I recognize that. And what I saw myself as has been sundered. I have taken my first opportunity to be a hero in the stars, and I ended that encounter leaving an entire colony exploding in my wake. I feel, and is Ramiel in the room as well, kind of like leaning against the door into the crew quarters or some such?
I think Blue Jay said that Ramiel is still in the tent, but I don't know if he's moved since then.
Ramiel had a conversation, and I've been pondering what he said. So I would like to extend to all of you a... She takes a big, deep breath, kind of withdraws her teeth from her lower lip with some unease as her tails lash uncomfortably. I'm going to show a bit of vulnerability here. The organization that Dahlia and I are hiding from are after me, are a very powerful public-facing corporation. It's the Moonstone Foundation. They were one of the greatest success stories to ever come out of the Kelgoshi, and it turned out their meteoric rise was due to the fact that they were the front for a cult who are after my power. And Dahlia and I are avoiding them because we clearly do not have the power that we need yet to confront them, if we can't even confront a gang of space pirates. So, I am not strong enough. She holds her fist out, and in it manifests the long glaive that she had been fighting with, that has the large hanging, like, star lantern hanging off of it. And as she clenches her fists, the staff quivers, and the head of the blade softens and morphs and rounds around into just a much simpler staff shape, similar but more ornate and suffused with magic than the same staff that she gave to Ariana. And since I'm not strong enough, I need to get stronger. I am going to need to start training on the ship, working with you all, and getting this all sorted out. I invite others who have felt any sense of despondency at any fate that you might have been staring down recently, at anyone who thinks that they can better themselves by gaining a bit of strength, to step up against me, develop some new techniques alongside me and against me.
This this cult that's chasing you, that wants your power, what do they want it for?
My body is uniquely suited to hold vast amounts of power due to the burgeoning star that I hold within my core. Only a body capable of withstanding such power could serve as the vessel for their deep space goddess.
And who's their goddess?
Some nasty deep space beastie named Zetlia. I don't know much else about her beyond that. I was never keen on the dogma of this cult. But
So,
she's far out in the stars, and they want to pull her in to me. Or, failing that, taking the star, she wraps her knuckle against her abdomen, and finding someone else to put it in, starting the process over.
you wouldn't feel comfortable enough yet to tell us how you found that information out about yourself?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no. I believe we spoke before about where my powers came from, about my upbringing in this sort of society where my power was fostered. It was, I eventually discovered, a compound intended to groom vessels for Zetlia.
Oh,
It was for that reason I was implanted and initially encouraged to gain power.
does the and you don't think any of that has any connection to that strange device, object, or whatever you found within yourself?
I'm uncertain. It is certainly my greatest fear. I have no lost time in my memory, nor do I recall any harm that I might have incurred that would leave some lingering technology behind as shrapnel. Whenever that device was put into me, it was done so without my knowledge.
And you never had any sort of surgery or anything like that for any other reason that it could have been slipped in
I
then?
had a great number of surgeries, uh,
Ah,
several augmentations, necromantic and metamorphic rituals. My the process by which I was prepared to house the uh, the star was a complicated and grueling one.
was there any surgeries that you had that you remember things changed heavily after? Like there was a big change?
Oh yes, but that was the process itself. Ultranova, it's called. It was horrible. A star stolen from time the moment before rapturous and conclusive supernova, and then funneled through my chest. After I recovered, I she holds her palm up, and a coalescing of space and light as just the overhead lights in the wreck space are warped and distorted by a well of gravity coalescing around her elbow as she closes in her fist near her shoulder in a flex. Everything changed.
Hey, DM, would I know anything about any of this information? Zetlia or any of it?
Probably not,
To be honest,
to be quite fair.
Okay. Just had
to
to
be
check.
honest, when I first heard about Solara, I was worried that it was another name for the same beliefs, but I've not seen a lot of overlap. So I calmed down.
You haven't done any research about this Zetlia person? God, whatever?
I have not. No. The warning that I gave to the Galactic Heroes was a tip regarding the Moonstone Foundation. Their secret connections were only ever made aware to me after my purpose had been explained.
Oh, that's really scary. I'm sorry you had to run from that.
She has this very interesting expression for a while. Her face doesn't change. Her mouth is just hanging a few centimeters open, very sort of like neutral and ponderous as her eyes are just dancing off and to the left. And you realize that she is not used to emoting with her face outside of the helmet and is kind of forgetting to properly engage and respond with your empathy in this moment and is trying to like process it but
Mhm.
lacks her usual buffer.
I think seeing that Booker kind of like kind of pats the side of her arm and he goes, if to answer your original question, if you need someone to spar, I would be happy to.
Your kindness is welcome and appreciated. If I'm being very, very honest, I have frustrations that I feel might have themselves expressed more fully with other opponents. And she kind of stares Ariana down.
Oh shit.
Fucking fair.
Oh shit.
Ariana,
How are you?
do you still stand by your oath to fight Dahlia's opponents to the bitter end if necessary?
Well, I see no reason to change that now.
What if I told you that you recently stared down one of Dahlia's opponents and failed to destroy them, and that made me doubt that you had any veracity to back up your word?
Well, there wasn't really too many things we could do in that situation.
Be so
Unless
kind
you're
as to
trying to get me
put
killed early.
your borrowed staff.
Sure, I suppose. Can never hurt.
So you take it out. She takes her index and middle finger from the hand that isn't holding her staff and presses them against the edge of it, about 6 inches from your hand, and you feel the weapon surge and suffuse, briefly oscillating heavily, growing light as a feather, then to about 15 pounds before quickly snapping back to the same practiced, well-made balance of the weapon before she had touched it. But now it softly hums through the air as it waves in your hand, and the edges of it have shifted and warped such that it is identical to hers. And she casts Magic Weapon so that you are now wielding a +1 quarterstaff. And then she just paces off into a area with a padded mat, or if there's a proper ring or cage or anything anywhere.
Booker goes to the mess hall and gets popcorn and sits down.
Lucifer heard the crumbling of bags.
She tosses the staff over both of her shoulders and rests the crooks of her elbow on them as she turns to face you. Do you have any preparation that you need before the match? Or would you allow me the courtesy of doing the same? Part of my power is tied to celestial magic. Would you rather fight me without, or give me a moment to powder up?
I have no magical powers myself.
Then
But
it
if you
is
want,
your
then you can.
Yeah, she will breathe heavily out of her nostrils, and then you will see light sort of warping in the space around her, and the moisture on her outfit quickly starts to freeze and frost over as she casts Armor of Agathis at 2nd level. It is very obvious to you, looking at her, that if you attack her, it will hurt you in a similar way that it is obvious to her that the same is true for your spiky, drinky armor, and that the plan seems to just kind of be whack the shit out of each other with magic sticks.
Well, you want me to fight you as myself, or
What's the alternative?
not using all the tricks in my book?
Please do.
No, fair enough. That Ariana's gonna unwrap the bandages that are on her body.
What's under the bandages?
God, that is your artistic description there.
Well, it's been maybe like a day or two. We're probably on like day 2 of being back on the ship. So we're still looking pretty rough. I mean, you still got some gnarly bruising. Hard to see the discoloration, I'm sure, through the feathers, of course, but feeling wise, you probably feel pretty sore. So it's not you. It's more physically shown that you're not 100% yourself yet. But as far as looks go, there may be a couple spots where feathers are a little mangled from being wrapped up, and probably not the most put together Ariana you guys are used to seeing.
There are even several missing feathers.
Correct.
Intense. Love it.
Yeah. The bandages make it hard to move.
Wouldn't want that. You ready?
Ready as I can be.
She charges you. I don't know, do you want to summarize things? I don't necessarily want to gum things up with an entire PvP if anyone else has anything else to do.
I think everybody's watching with popcorn.
Do it.
I mean,
To
I'm
be
okay with
honest,
both.
Fight,
I
fight,
would
fight,
be
fight.
watching with popcorn myself.
Let's
Yeah.
roll initiative.
Alrighty.
It's a natural 2. This is Aquamarine, baby.
This is a 19.
Spectacular.
know.
Damn.
Al looks ready to step in if needed to. He's not he's not quite as far. He's keeping an eye on the floof, but he's also keeping an eye on the fight.
Distorting the shadows around him to give him like a striped referee shirt.
Yes, sure. He has no idea what that is, but yes, it's glorious.
How does Ariana begin?
Well, let's see. Well, half of my kids shut down, but that's fine. Ariana's just going to go for a simple attack with the quarterstaff.
Copy that.
I'm currently a gunslinger, so. That is a 14.
14 will hit. Which means, thanks to Armor of Agathis, you will take 5 cold damage. And then what's that beautiful +1 staff doing to me?
It is doing a grand total of 4 damage.
Copy, copy. Well, yeah, I guess, I mean, we're swinging sticks at this point, and you agreed. If you'd rather have done a gunslinging off, we could have done light crossbows.
I mean, it's kind of late for that. I mean, unless you wanted to toss her, like, so Ariana's kit is weird.
Uh-huh.
I kind of fucked it up a little bit, but Gunslinger Fighter is currently the thing right now, and it specifies firearm attacks
Uh-huh.
for all of my skills for it.
Devastating.
I mean, unless Dahlia made stun rounds. I doubt that for some reason.
Yeah, I don't have a way yet to pull punches from a distance. It is still that is as of yet a flaw in my super heroic toolkit. That if I want to be merciful, I need to whack them. Do you have anything else, or is that your turn?
I only have one attack, so that's all I got.
Copy that. Okay. I will bonus action, I will cast Hex. And I will choose Dexterity for the ability checks that you have disadvantage on. And then for my action, I will cast Vengeful Blade. So I make a melee attack. That is a, let's see, 3, 5, 6, 23.
Yeah, that certainly hits.
What does your armor do to me when it hits?
Well, it kind of does what it does. It shatters into a D8 of force damage.
Okay. Do I roll or do you just hit me with a D8?
I'm pretty sure it's just a reaction hit, so it's at least that's the way God has it written. So
Roll them bones.
I will roll the singular bone.
Roll that bone.
That is 7
7.
force damage.
Okay. My ice and gravity and space armor is obliterated by the concussive force, and I take an additional point of hit point damage. And then let's see. So you take the weapon's normal effects, which is going to be a D8 of damage dice. Here we go. 5 plus 3 plus 9 bludgeoning. And then as she swings this staff down and your concussive shockwave blasts the gravitational energy off of her shoulders and sends it distorting into the area behind her, her arms quiver and lock into place, and her energy and her willpower distort that shattered energy back onto the head of her staff as she sends it cracking down onto your shoulder. You are surrounded by a dark aura of energy. If you make an attack or cast a spell before the start of my next turn, you take a D8 of necrotic damage, and then the spell ends. Which, do with what you will. That is the end of my turn.
All right. Well,
Aquamarine is just grimacing, still very fresh in the fight, but no longer protected by any magic.
Ariana's never been one for safe plays, so she's hitting back.
As you swing, you feel your body pass through the dark energy field that has been tossed in front of you, and you feel it suck away your life force for 2 points of necrotic damage.
And I got a 8 to hit.
It's you're only 3 off, so you get it's not far.
We're gonna use a bonus action, a second wind here. It's the closest
Fantastic.
thing to magic I have. And 7 has 11 HP restored, which actually is pretty good. And do I want to action surge?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I will. Fine. We did say we weren't gonna hold anything back, so that's a 15.
That'll do it.
That is 6 bludgeoning from this quarterstaff.
Fantastic. I'm so sorry. I forgot to roll my hex damage when I hit you last turn. That would be 6 more necrotic. Okay, and now, after I am whacked by your stick, I no longer have Armor of Agathis, so you don't take any splashback damage. She will... Let's see, how are you looking?
I'm still relatively healthy. I'm only missing 11 HP out of my max.
Solid copy. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna stick with the stick. That is a natural 20. Wow. Okay, glorious. Dungeon Master, if I do a critical hit, would I add that to the damage of the hex as well?
So
Or
yeah,
just the damage of the stick?
it should be your. Do you mind sending me the wording? Well, actually, I could just look at it. I believe so. 1 second.
You deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever you hit it with an attack roll.
Yeah, you should be able to add the crit on that as well.
Copy that. What about for Vengeful Blade? Since probably not, because that applies an effect that gets triggered later.
Correct. If it was, excuse me. If it was something you were playing in effect at this current moment in time, that like that damage, then yes, but no, not if it is a like delayed damage.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it only deals instant damage starting at level 5. But that's fine. Okay, so she musters this force again, and strikes with her staff with a sort of very exasperated, teeth clenching, and visceral swing. Like she is. This is not the most effective way for her to fight. It's better suited for her than for you, apparently, as a gunslinger. But like, she has eldritch blasts and arcanomagnetic repulsions, and she is really just ferociously swinging this magic staff in both hands, clenched, very, very intensely. So you are looking at, wow, 2d6s from the hex is a total of 2, with a pair of natural 1s on those. So that's 2 necrotic damage, and then we're looking at 2d8s for the stick itself. That is a natural 2 and a 7 for a total of 9, plus 4, 13. 13 bludgeoning, 2 necrotic, and you feel the space around you thicken and prickle again as Vengeful Blade's effect about making an attack to hurt you for another d8 strikes. Does the armor hurt me again with another d8 of force damage?
It only works once. I think short rest, I believe it was. Let me double check. Or it might have been a long rest. Once a long rest.
Understood. That will end my turn.
Very nice, very nice. While Oriana is out of her element, she is still going to continue attacking with a quarterstaff. Quarterstaff is not a weapon she is used to using, but she's using it.
Wait, really? She never learned how to fight with a stick during her
Proficient with it.
military upbringing?
Proficient with it, but it was not seen as an effective weapon, so it was not intricately
Gotcha.
studied.
Only the fundamentals. Understood.
A 21 to hit.
Big time.
And is a spicy 4 bludgeoning.
Copy that.
And that's all she got.
You can see under the thorough resiliency that you are displaying, just the sheer solid effectiveness of landing these strikes, you have pummeled the magic shield off of her and about half of her vitality. She is clenching her teeth. Her eyes are watering, probably more than they would be just from pain. It's clear she's whacking her frustrations out at you. But could you give me an insight check?
I will attempt. I have a +0 in that, so. Yeah, that's an 8.
Well, my natural one to oppose it, which is perfect for Aquamarine. She is very clearly as upset at herself as she is at you, and is just trying to scream and fight it all out of her system. And she is going to make another quarterstaff strike at you, suffused with Vengeful Blade. 10 on the dot plus. We're looking at a 16.
Meets it, beats it, so.
Copy that. Okay, then that is a single d6 of hex damage. We're looking at 6 points. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think hex might be concentration. Yes, it is. So I need to make a constitution check. The damage dealt. Okay, yes. I did pass it, but just there. Oh, wait, no. 7 on the dot. My con save's only 1. Okay, yeah, no more hex after that last one. So you just take the bludgeoning damage here. We are looking at that's good. 11 points of bludgeoning. And you feel the dark area convergence with the Vengeful Blade effect. Did I roll necrotic damage last time you hit me for
I
the
don't
Vengeful
believe you
Blade?
did.
Okay. That's 6 more necrotic.
Ariana does not look good at all. Very poor, actually.
What does she look like? Like, what is she fighting like? What is I feel as though Aquamarine's frustrations and intent and ferocity were fairly evident. And what do you think that Ariana is bringing, sort of like in response to that energy in this contest?
I mean, Ariana's definitely favoring more her not incinerated side, but has also been bringing her own anger at the fact that everything happened and she still didn't get answers, and also didn't even get to kill the person that didn't give her answers.
Absolutely. And then it is your turn.
We have a quarterstaff. We're doing that. That is a 12.
12 will do it.
That's a spicy 4 damage.
Absolutely.
Man, it's
Let's
like I'm
see
using a
here.
dagger right now.
Okay. I will go with a shock and a half, a vengeful blade strike with the quarterstaff. Oh wait, actually, now that you just hit me, let's go ahead and do the vengeful blade effect there.
Yeah. Whatever
7.
damage you do, I'm going down, by the way.
Oh,
I had 1 HP left.
tell me about Ariana's Blaze of Glory. What do you think is the like final chink in the armor that Aquamarine is able to use to get the upper hand in this round?
I imagine it's hard to say, really. Just maybe a good solid hit on the not strong side. Directly in a still healing bullet wound.
I mean, are you yeah, fair. I don't I'm wondering if Aquamarine is the type to drive a stick into a bullet wound. But I
You probably
think
wouldn't notice it that much. It's
in
underneath
the
all the
heat of the
feathers.
moment and with the overextension of like the magic effects, I think it could absolutely just swing in and yeah, catch you in the side, knock the wind out. But she will immediately walk over to you and extend a hand down to pick you up and cast mending as she does so to just sort of tidy you up a bit. Like takes a few moments to kneel with you and get you like recentered after the spar. Immediately, like once the fight is over, so much of the intensity and the frustration that she needed to work out falls from her shoulders as she like kneels at your side and presses her hand onto either like your hand if you offer it or onto your shoulder and just like literally spends a minute just kind of getting your bandages jostled and cleaned and tightened and fixed around you.
I mean, Ariana would probably take her hand and just be like, I'm okay. Still healing. And melee fighting is, well, with a quarterstaff isn't normal.
She will grab her own quarterstaff and it will shift shapes into a more ornate, magical, celestially polished version of the one-shot pistol that Dahlia gave you, which you recognize as a light crossbow, as someone proficient in weapons would, and says, "All right, next round will be on your terms."
Yeah, I'll have to heal up a bit before that next round.
Right. So, we're done now, you all. Does anyone else have any tricks or spells or frustrations or confessions? Any other cults we should be looking out for?
Seeing the the rage and emotion of that frustrated fight happening, Booker looks a little less interested in sparring, a little intimidated. Um,
Hence her
and
polite refusal.
yes, and he goes, um, I don't think anyone has any other cults to look out for, um, other than but on the different abilities. I have some new fire tricks, but that's about it.
Well, I'd love to see those fire tricks, but on the topic of cults, I did just have a thought about the child aboard our ship. Do we know if there are any other Solaran people out there that would be a good place to, or have we tried to see if anyone got onto the ships before the thing crashed and is drifting in space in the same directions we are?
Did we all see the ships escape, or was that just a few people?
Because I remember the moment Aquamarine started escorting Zara, or
Okay.
the evil captain, to the Helios shard, she also started going like, "Hey everyone, get off planet."
Yes.
But I don't know how much of the result of that we saw.
Yeah. Blue Jay says that we saw. I do remember we saw multiple ships leaving, possibly 7. Um, but Booker will say, um, but Ren, he doesn't. I don't think he's interested in going back to Solaris people.
Oh, well, okay. So, you were saying about your fire tricks. What can you do?
Um, he will take. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me check. He will. Uh, he'll take. He'll go up to a. Well, actually, no. He'll go up to one of the punching bags, and instead of being 5 feet in front of it, he'll be 10 feet in front of it. Um, and you watch as he undoes his hand wraps. Um, he's like, I don't have too many of these. Don't need to go through all of them. And as he unwraps it, um, you watch as his brands light up. Uh, the branding on his knuckles light up, and that fire engulfs his fists, and he swings seemingly like too far away from the punching bag. But as he does, that fire like shoots out of his fist and hits the punching bag.
Spectacular! How far can those go?
That's about it. That's about as far as I can go. But I'm outside of punching range or hitting range, so that's nice.
Absolutely. Spectacular stuff. How did you come by this have you been practicing with your fire at night? Where did this come from?
Uh,
How does your glyphs hold this? Do the glyphs hold the power, or is that just sort of do they light up and also you have firepower?
I'm actually not quite sure. I was sort of imbued with these at the time when in my younger years, and since then I've just had a connection with fire. I'm not really sure if I mean, I assume one's correlated, but I don't know the intricacies.
You've had a connection with fire. Is that
I mean, I mean, I have, but that's through the Ashian flame.
I see. Well, this is spectacular.
oh, and he gets really excited all of a sudden, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out his little Zippo lighter, and he says, "And I can also do this." And he turns the lighter on, and then just kind of like looks at it really hard, and then you watch without him touching anything, the lighter goes out.
Ooh, you can quench with your mind.
Yeah,
Mind
pretty
quench.
cool.
That's awesome.
That's kind of, I think that's the extent of my tricks, though.
She stares at the lighter with her mind and lights it back on fire.
He like jumps and he's like, "Well, you can do it too."
Prestidigitation.
Ah.
I don't think she says that out loud, but yes, prestidigitation. I can
Yeah,
light
yeah.
and quench small flames.
yeah.
Most I've got
But
on
yeah,
my end
she
on
just
other
gets
new
excited.
things.
She's like, "Yes, I've got a the Ultranova can do a quench or a spark."
I think Booker gets really excited every time you talk about your connection to like a star. Like in his mind, it's like it's kind of the same thing with him, somewhat. He believes there's like a fire sort of connection in that sense, and um, he gets very excited that you seem to have similar abilities than he does.
Are you? Do you know if you're connected to some specific source? Do you know if there's if it's a star or a fiery planet or some outer dimension of fire angels that you draw from?
Well, we the members of the Ashian Flame, we serve the Cinder Sovereign. He's kind of what imbues us with our powers.
Right, but do you know do you know the practicality of it, the physics of it? Do you know by what means your Cinder Sovereign bestows you these powers?
God, do I know that, or was I sort of kept in the dark?
Most likely kept in the dark. It's not really something that was like shared information necessarily.
Hmm.
Mostly, and if it was asked about, it was mostly they would say it was like for your safety, whatever that means.
Right. Um, he'll just say, I think we're just, I think it just comes through us, uh, following our tenets and teachings and our connection with him, and then uh, proving our worth. We're sort of granted with it.
Understood. Some sort of divine vestments of power?
He looks unsure, but he says, "Yeah, yeah."
Do you know that I know what star it was? And she's excitedly pointing to her like her abs.
What do you mean? What star it was?
Well, the the ultranova when it came from a supernova, it wasn't like that wasn't a magical explosion that got set off from nothing. It was a real planet sustaining star out in the universe that they grabbed right as it went supernova. It was a star called Asinonyx 24. It was a real thing, and it had planets and gave light. If you traveled an exponential infinite millions of light years off in any direction, going faster than light, you'd still be able to see the light of the planet, of the star that is now in me and giving me magic.
Oh.
Space is so cool. Like
It
she
is.
conjures from nowhere a magical astral recreation of Dahlia's map droid scaled up to her bigger hands and is just like grinning excitedly.
Yeah, he very much watches and is very interested in seeing. I think the star element is what really grasps his interest, as he watches you kind of showing this to him.
Is anyone
we have
else?
Knox.
Oh,
Yeah,
go on.
Knox is here.
I think Ariana wanted to show something off.
Oh yeah.
I don't have anything to show off. I just
Oh.
going to tell that I had our friend down in engineering working on some things. Maybe a new weapon and maybe a way to fly again, but we'll see. The way to fly again is the one that scares me.
That one we should probably test.
I'll
We're
eventually be
safe.
able to help you with that, but only in the short term, I think. I'm working on my gravity powers, and give me a few more life or death encounters, and I should be able to force my body and mind into some way to fling myself and my allies through the air.
And if what he's doing works, I'm not sure how it's going to work yet. But I should be able to fly again, maybe? Ending.
I hope it works out.
It would be nice.
What about you, Nox? Any new powers?
I do have one.
What have you got?
I'll walk to the punching bag. Excuse me, monk buddy, as I get ready to punch this
Oh,
thing.
my bad, my bad. Get out of your way.
Good-natured slap on the robot ass.
I have a lightning attack.
Oh, hell yeah.
What does it look like as this robot
Is it a
warrior
taser?
summons lightning?
Oh man. You guys seen a Gundam, right?
Paint a picture without proper nouns.
What the hell is the proper noun?
Gundam.
Ah,
Do you have like an arm cannon that does lightning, or are you a monk?
it's a punch. It's a punch.
But like,
Um,
I mean, I'll ask it in character. I'm curious. Is that an augmentation that you've developed as part of your physiology, or is that an advanced martial arts technique that summons lightning?
it is. It is.
This is Flavor Joy, so you can say whatever you
I'm
want
trying
it
to
to
figure
be,
it out.
man.
Like,
You can make
yeah,
it as
Um,
cool or
when you
as
think
lame
about
as you
Nox,
want.
is Nox a Z fighter who happens to be a robot, or is he like a war machine of electric arm cannon blasting death?
it is
Is
an
he
augment
what
that I
kind of
recently had awakened. How about that? I had
awakened?
it stored in backup, but it
Honestly, that's a
just
pretty cool
came
idea.
back out.
I love
That's
it.
pretty on par
Mhm.
with your character.
And if you ever seen a Gundam, you know they transform quite often. Sometimes the main character does, but obviously I'm not. Ramiel, of course you are. um, they. Do I have to do it, or am I just showing it off and like?
You don't have to roll dice, but if you
Okay,
want to,
okay.
you can. Fuck
No,
that
I
shit up.
won't. I'd much rather just explain it.
Uh-huh.
So as I get my punch ready, my arm will, how do you say, not transform, but like, whenever they extend and they like lights glowing. Hold on, I'm sure there's a fucking emoji I can, or a GIF or something I can. Yeah, like this, but only on his arm. Will extend slightly and glow blue because lightning, cool and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it do? It's just a punch, so all I have to do is hit him. And view with and it will just fucking activate. Like as soon as I touch it, it just explodes with lightning.
Huh. Whoa! Oh! Wow. Nice. All right, we've got fire punches, lightning punches. Does anyone else have any elemental punches that we should know about?
Not that I'm aware of.
Booker will high five Knox after that.
Hell yeah. Be careful with the lightning.
Yeah. Be careful with the fly.
Spark and a flame and a flicker just clashing off against each other above their fists.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, you don't have anything cool to share with class?
Not really.
Nothing he wants to share.
No, I
Oh,
genuinely just don't really have like
Yeah,
anything new.
secrets.
oh, there's something else that my lightning thing can do too.
Oh,
And I'll walk a couple feet back. I think because I can imbue it with an item. So as I grab a dagger out of my pocket, I'll imbue it. Same effects go off, but it goes directly into the knife. Throw it, and it erupts with lightning as the blade pierces the bag.
amazing.
Once returned. But I can only use it twice, unfortunately. So I got a long cooldown.
Did you just throw a knife through a punching bag?
Yes, I feel like it would be a better demonstration than throwing it at the ship or at one of you.
Sure. She'll pluck the knife out and cast mending, just
Okay.
cradling the speed bag for like a minute and just kind of working her thumb over the edge as it slowly mends, and you see the like stuffing just creep back up
I
into the bag.
didn't know it was a speed bag.
I guess it doesn't have to. It could be a heavy bag, but I
I
was
thought it was a
picturing a
heavy
speed bag
bag.
for some reason, just like a bullseye throw.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But she'll do the same to a heavy bag. Just give it a big around the shoulder hug.
Oh.
Well, that's some spectacular stuff. Where did you learn martial arts?
Some old Tibetan monks.
He refuses to tell us. He refuses to tell us. I've asked him this. He says we're not allowed to know.
Old Tibetan monks.
Well, I sure would like to.
About, I want to say, 500 years ago.
You don't
You're
look.
500 years old?
Oh, I'm much older than 500.
How old are
Can I
you?
make an insight check?
Sure.
Do it.
That's a natural. I'm gonna use my inspiration. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. It's a 13 on the die. So it's at least an 18, and I might have a little trait, but feel free to roll a deception or a persuasion or whatever.
If you want to keep it hidden, roll the d20 and then just add your bonus manually.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's fine. Persuasion skills. Oh, I lost that one.
So are you actually over 500 years old?
Yeah,
and
I'm
learning?
actually. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm not lying to you guys. If you must
Well,
know my age, I am
not.
over 800 years old.
Well, that's remarkable. But
I know I look good for my age.
so,
Moisturize, kids.
so you hundreds of years ago just decided to pick up martial arts as a hobby and went to
Uh,
a monastery.
After the war, you learn a few things about yourself.
The
What
war.
war was that?
Ugh, I can't even remember the name. I fought in too many. I think you guys commonly refer to it as Galactic War 1.
Interesting.
How many
I don't-
galactic wars have there been?
I'm gonna say, I mean, it's a big place, 7 at least.
You fought in a galactic conflict and then sought solace after in a monastery.
That's exactly right.
And what did you remain there until you came upon your siblings?
My siblings found me after a long time of wandering on a desolate little rock that I'd isolated myself in.
Hermitage. Self-imposed.
Self imposed.
Why is that?
You kill a few thousand people and you kind of think back on it.
She just kind of puts her hands on her hips and looks off like, yeah, okay, woof. But just gives kind of a compassionate, if slightly overwhelmed nod. And how long ago was that?
Mm. Probably around 30 years ago.
So I have to say, as a trio, you're all very remarkable in that none of you are mortal, and it is very hard to get a grasp on how long you've been around or how much you know. You are a hellborn, a shadow, and a robot, and I just am so confused by all of you.
I feel like robot's a little derogatory. I'm a mechano man.
Mechano Man is so good.
What if
I will
you're-
update my terminology, thank you. As a mechano man who is apparently over 100 years old, it is so fascinating to me that you are still continuing to evolve and adapt to new features about yourself. That is spectacular. You must have such a life. That's glorious.
Yeah, you know what they say, old dogs, new tricks and all that.
No, I believe it's the opposite.
Oh, interesting. I've heard it both ways.
Not. Can I ask what monastery you trained in? Like how? Like was it religious or was it like what was it?
They're Tibetan monks, so it's a little religious, a little martial arts. Martial arts
What
through
re-
religion.
what religious affiliation did they have?
Somebody got my joke. Let's see, Tibetan monks. I'm pretty sure that's Buddhism.
You meant legit, actual Tibetan monk.
Yeah, that's not the only temple I studied at either.
Oh, what other temples did you study at?
In China, called Mount Hua. Let's see, what other famous ones? Some minor ones, some famous ones. Just anywhere that would accept me, really.
Did you have a problem being accepted?
After the war, not everybody was so forthcoming with robots.
Mechanomen.
Yeah, they used
Yeah,
the derogatory term, don't worry.
Who, what, did you realize you were on the wrong side of the war? Is that why, or was it just general guilt of the blood on your hands?
There is no right or wrong side in war. Everybody loses in war. Just some people lose worse than others.
Hmm. Did you have trouble getting away when you left it, or were you just kind of allowed to leave?
No, it was no trouble. It's more of the fact that my squad and all my armaments and everyone got wiped out.
Do it.
Were you close with them, or not really?
I remember them.
Well, I meant emotionally, were you close with them? Not
Mm,
Was
I
it
don't think
heartbreaking to see them go?
I don't think we had emotions at the time. It's emotions are more of a thing I developed after studying.
Hmm.
My subroutines didn't have cry filters or anything.
But now?
Do they have them now?
No, I still can't cry, unfortunately.
Uh,
Oh my god, Wiki, stop, bro.
Well, you've recently developed the ability to shoot lightning from your hands, so it's entirely possible that tears are right around the corner.
Who knows? One thing I learned about living on this world is life is amazing.
that
Sorry, this
that's
world?
very.
We are on a starship.
Yeah, world, starship, galaxy, who gives a shit?
Sure. Who am I to question the teachings of such a well-traveled and learned monk?
Yeah, now you're
Who
learning, and
gives
I'm just
who
gonna
gives
pat
a
you on the
shit
head.
indeed?
There you go, little guy. Now you're thinking like me.
She's
It's a
6'1".
Yeah, and
How tall are
7 foot.
you? Yeah.
Every one of you guys is little guy to me.
And do you still weigh 1,700 pounds, or have you adapted a lighter frame too?
You have to have adapted a lighter frame. We've carried him before.
What's
Not
wrong with my weight,
necessarily.
first of all?
No, I'm asking for the ability to be hoisted.
um,
But no, you've clearly got a small team of gnomes who come out and provide a pit crew worth 1,600 pounds worth of hoist, and we
That's
just
fine.
need to accept that.
Yeah.
I
Okay, I'll
still think
lower it.
that you're
I'll lower it to
actually
16.
I still think that you're actually a Gundam, and that there is a tiny little, like, gerbil-sized alien piloting you.
That would be the funniest shit in the world.
We've never seen your helmet, like the inner workings of your helmet space. It could totally be a studio apartment for a gerbil alien.
A studio?
Now he-
How empty you think my head is?
Oh my
Yes.
How small do you think a gerbil is if you weigh 1,700 pounds? I'm talking like a 4-inch tall alien living in a dollhouse inside of your Gundam head.
I am just a Barbie mansion that was super upgraded.
This Barbie Dreamhouse gerbil tank mecha.
Incredible.
That sounds like the title of an anime. I'll be real with you.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like I've seen this one.
Ramiel, have you picked up any new magic tricks?
I think Romeo left.
Shame. If Ramiel's around
Yes.
and wants to show off cool magic tricks.
No, Ramiel's not around. Somewhere along the time in which Dahlia was explaining
Aquamarine.
her, I'm sorry, Aquamarine was explaining her whole abilities and
whole?
what her whole specifically her whole
In-depth
uh
description
sorry.
and everything, bro. PowerPoint presentation.
Good lord.
Yeah, but when Dahlia was explaining, or I'm sorry, Aquamarine was explaining her kind of what she was I don't know if brought forth to do is correct, but like basically, I'm assuming what is like an introduction of backstory information. Specifically, when Dahlia, I'm sorry, Aquamarine. I'm going to, man, it's been one of those days. When
We know you're talking about
Aquamarine,
Aquamarine.
I look, I want to make
The
sure I'm addressing the
correction
right
is
person.
appreciated. Proceed, you're all good.
Yes. So when Aquamarine specifically started mentioning being able to hold um a mass amount of power, Ramiel's kind of disposition changed, and which is when he opted to dip back into the crew quarters and hide away, not hide away, in his makeshift tent out of the bunk beds and any fabric he brought with him. Any calling to his name is just not bringing forth this. It's not bringing him towards the group. He's just truthfully just ignoring it. It seems.
She is going to poke her head into the crew quarters and carefully approach Ramiel. Hey there, friend. You all right?
Why wouldn't I be?
You pulled a vanishing trick and have been leaving us to call out to you in the other room.
Yes, I am a solitary creature. I prefer to be alone. Hence why I am in here, and the rest of you are out there.
Was your do you think your like discomfort at that specific like fate was it like an obvious and evident like ugh and then leaving, or was it a subtler like disquieting and then eventual wandering off?
It was. I don't know if discomfort is the right word. It's kind of like an acknowledgement and then a dismissal.
Understood. I couldn't help but notice the way you departed after I brought up the Ultranova and Zetlia.
Okay. I don't know how you think that I departed, but I just started losing interest in the conversation.
All right. Um, for someone so keen on picking on Booker being in a cult, you sure did pass pretty quick on the opportunity to talk about me admitting to have been trained in one.
Would you prefer that I do that, or would you prefer that I just said nothing and left?
I'm just noting a departure from your usual behaviors and curious as to what might be different. My desire to help people doesn't usually manifest in throwing space balls and swinging glaives made of stars. I like to talk to people and help them solve their problems, and I want that to include this crew, and I see you sitting here alone and I want to do something.
Well, what you want is not possible. Not a possibility with me for you to achieve. What I would like is to be alone. That is why my behaviors have been the way that they are, because it seems to have finally worked. Or so I thought, because now you are in front of me.
One last question, and then I'll leave you be. Why do you want to be alone?
Because it is what I am used to.
Okay. If you're only after what you're used to, then why are you on a intergalactic treasure hunt? But
That
she
is
will leave to give you your space. Oh, but I think you would absolutely be able to say something as she was going, whatever you were in the middle of.
Oh, yeah. He, that honestly would get like, I mean, it would get a laugh out of him. Now, is it like like a, oh, that's like a really funny joke kind of thing? No, it's are you like kidding me? Like this whole thing, I didn't even want to be on this. Um, I am on this whole galactic treasure hunting adventure because I want to get back to what I am used to. I am literally being forced out of my home unless I find the credits possible so that I can return to my normal life and pay whatever rent I owe or debts I owe. That is the whole reason I'm on this trip. I don't need help from anyone, nor have I asked. I'm not here to make friends. I am trying to return to what I know.
Okay. And she leaves. To find Booker and Knox having energy beam battles.
I'm gonna head back down now and see what I can do.
I should actually probably be going as well.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you guys don't want to get on the sparring match?
I just had one. I'm fine.
I feel like if I get punched a couple more times in the stomach, Dahlia's going to just sort of.
Yeah, maybe a little
So,
bit.
yeah, so I'm gonna go. And she just kind of jogs off.
hmm Booker.
Lucifer will
Val,
fight you, Noct.
Val looks mildly
I will
disappointed.
drop that fucking
He
roll.
didn't get to.
No!
I saw the stairs, by the way. Thank you. Val looks mildly disappointed he get to touch the larger floof.
A couple minutes later, Dahlia will loop back around and join the group, just sort of merging in the back end. It's like, yeah, I was basically here the whole time. Don't even sweat it.
Booker at some point during this day will check in with Ren and see if he needs anything or if he wants anything or anything like that. He'll also check in with Zara too, if see how things are going. The DM is there.
Do I gotta go out there and poke his dead body?
Oh no.
I think you might have to, bro.
My mic
My
is
love.
dying on me. Sorry.
Oh.
I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't work. All right. So is there anything else anybody else is specifically gonna be doing here for the next couple of days?
I mean, Ariana's just trying to help with whatever can be done with the weapon that she's trying to have built and the wing that might or may not work or cause horrible damage to her body eventually.
Yeah. If there's any way for Aquamarine to help with the weapon manufacturing process, she will. Whether it's like conjuring weapons in like mid construction or whatever with her weapon conjuring powers. She has magic weapon that she can cast multiple times a day if that like helps facilitate the process just to try to get the loadout put together. And then at some point Dahlia will just enthuse about Starfinder, about her new map upgrades now that she leveled up and can add a d4 to her cartography tools check.
Awesome.
Which is a bit less exciting as a show and tell than shooting fire fists.
Fair enough.
Val will just. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good, Wolf. You go. You go.
I was just gonna say Val's just polishing off some of his sign language with Dahlia whenever they get a free moment.
Yes, absolutely. I yeah, I think probably just need to find a time of day that is not at the very end of the night, now that Eliora also sleeps in Dahlia's room with the good night dream crystals. And so they've probably become like brunch sign language lessons or something. Just sometime in between
Yeah.
Eliora doing Dahlia's chores in exchange for magic lessons and whatever Val's chores are. That's
Val,
probably when the
Val
sign
has a
language
lot of free time because he can do
Mhm.
chores when people are sleeping. So
And Dahlia has a lot of free time because Eliora does her chores. Awesome.
yeah,
So it's
that's
easy.
about everything of note, unless somebody specifically asks Val for help. Which the only thing I think he's proficient with is maps. So, well, and piloting. But let's look at his
I would
sheet.
absolutely love to swap sign language training for piloting training.
Yeah.
I've got a complicated virtual reality headset as part of the 1,000 credits that I spent on this room.
Oh.
So
Oh, you're gonna stick. You're gonna try to have Val learn VR. Oh no.
no. You can just I've got like
Okay.
complicated
Okay. Okay.
simulations and holograms. You sit in a chair and light beams. It's actually
Oh, thank goodness.
it mixes with my droid to have these like real autonomous scans that you
I couldn't
can
imagine my silly little
navigate
character trying
around.
to handle any form of VR. So that's good.
No,
Yeah.
it makes me super confused. Booker would be good at it, but that's because our spines are very different, and any doctor who tells you otherwise is not to be trusted.
So speaking about that doctor, uh,
Oh no.
Ramiel within these days of also everyone doing things would find his own excuse to go speak to Dr. Thorne.
Okay. Is it something that you would be sharing with the class, or is this something that you would like? Is this like a off camera kind of thing?
Um, let's keep it off camera. Unless someone happens to eavesdrop.
Okay. Are you when you leave to go speak with him? Are
Mhm.
you leaving like
Stealthily?
stealthily,
No,
or are
no,
you
no,
just walking
no,
along
no,
the
no.
hallway?
Just walking normally.
And then I guess the only other question would be, are you choosing to leave amidst everyone doing chores and whatnot, or is this just a casual leave and go to the med bay?
I would say definitely just a casual leave and go to the med bay, like as just relaxed as possible. It's weird because of course that sounds super sketchy, right? You're like, oh yeah, just as casually as possible, but he's not like doing anything abnormal. He's not walking any abnormally, not holding himself abnormally. It's literally the same body language he usually just carries himself with.
Yeah, I guess in that
I think
sense, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say I think Booker is kind of kept a little bit of an eye on Remiel to some extent, um, just after their last conversation. Um, that if he notices Remiel leave, he'll, especially if Remiel is going to the doctor he does not trust, um, he would probably try to listen in if possible.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Then I feel like in this situation, at least, for my note, go ahead and are you trying not to be seen, Booker, or just kind of what you doing?
Hmm.
You have a high
Yeah,
dex, right?
yeah, I do. I'm just trying to decide if he would think it was malicious enough to try to hide. No, yeah, he'll try to sneak. He'll try to stealth. I'll roll a stealth.
Yes, yes.
16.
Do you want? I don't know if you win in this situation or I win in this situation because my passive perception is
Is 16.
16.
Would
Then
you would
I'm
you
meeting it,
let
right? So I'm
anyone
beating
else
it.
in on your clandestine like would you tell Dahlia or Aquamarine that you were snooping on, or would you just
Uh,
keep that to
if you,
yourself?
if if I'm being honest, unless you were near him right when it happened, then he probably wouldn't, because he would want to. He doesn't know what Romulo is doing. He just wants to listen in. If he
Right.
was, and he wouldn't run down and go grab you, I guess.
Then good luck. So 16 versus 16, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sounds like you got just barely detected, right?
yeah.
Which one is the DC? Does the stealth set the DC that is then opposed by the passive?
I think so. Yeah, like
Then
Romulo's.
yeah, 16 would just catch it.
Right. So I mean, at this point, I guess Ramio, if you would like, you could even confront whoever is following you.
Yeah, no, definitely. He would absolutely stop at seeing Booker following him and just kind of just like turn towards his direction and arch an eyebrow like, "Can I help you?"
Hey, buddy,
Oh,
old pal.
Like, let's turn that stealth into a deception.
Recover, recover.
I I feel bad about the other day. Um,
Oh, you're
I
apologizing.
flew off the handle. Well, somewhat. I am apologizing for my tone. Um, I don't go back on what I said, but I have been known to have a short temper, so I apologize for
Eh,
the way it came out. And I know in reality I should uh I would have liked to before then to thank you.
Mhm. Great. So we did that. Why are you that's all? That's why you're following me?
Well, and I don't like you running off by yourself.
Why
I
do
just
you
wanted
care?
to see if why do I care? We're a team.
We are a group of people put into a situation together.
That's usually called a team. We all have a mutual goal.
We all have very different goals, just unfortunately in the same trip together.
What's your goal?
As I've already told Dahlia, or not Dahlia, Aquamarine, um, I am just trying to get whatever credits I need so I can go back to my life where I didn't have pesky people annoying me.
Booker smiles at that. What was so great about your life that you're trying to get back to?
It was quiet, and I didn't have people like you around. And don't worry, you're not special. I'm not annoyed by just you, it's everyone else too.
What's so annoying? He's still like smiling. What can we do to be not annoying?
Well, what's interesting was for a moment I thought you were interesting. When the Voidborn showed up,
Me?
for once in this whole time we have been traveling together, I finally saw an ounce of self preservation in you. But then you
Wow.
go and get yourself caught because of some children, falling right back into your typical archetype.
So me sticking my neck out to help other people is something that you don't do. You've never done that.
No, why would I ever want to do that for anyone?
Well, I just think that's funny because hearing what the kid said, you rescued a woman, right? I mean, when I said we should split up and try to go help people get on the lifeboats, you could have not done that. I was running away. You could have just said you did that and ran to the ship and still be satisfied. But you went and you actually helped somebody. You didn't need to do that.
He's gonna he's gonna take definitely be caught off guard for just a moment. And I would like to roll an insight to see if Ramiel could even grasp if Booker actually knows that this is something that has happened or is just pulling off of what the kid is saying and trying to initiate a conversation on this.
I mean, I could tell you, like, I mean, he doesn't know for certain, right? Like, he doesn't, like,
Yeah.
he wouldn't know. But I could tell you, like, he's, do you want to roll for it?
Yeah, I can roll
Okay,
for it
okay,
because I think it would be very much a him trying to study and grasp the kind of situation, or if it
okay.
could be like an emotional thing that just well, it's
Do I roll a
17.
persuasion, or
That seems about right, I would say.
a persuasion? Okay. It's- I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna use my inspiration actually. Feels so important to me. 24.
Okay.
There we go.
God, I love how we both used our inspirations this session on
I
insight checks in the
love
middle
it.
of like
I
body
love it.
language. So good. Our priorities
it
are
just
exactly where they need to be. I love it.
exactly.
Absolutely.
I
We're
love
Absolutely.
same
it.
same mind, same mind.
Keep it up. Please proceed. Thank you.
Um, so there's definitely like a bit of there's a hesitation, which for the most part for Ramiel, he's almost matched every beat in response, but this is probably the longest bit of hesitation. Before he kind of like chuffs and tries to play it off. Okay, you're just believing the words from this kid that I helped based off of my actions so far. Does that even seem like it would be something I would do?
Emil, we made a deal. I want you to trust me, and you can't trust me if I don't trust you. That's how it works. And you said you saved her. I'm gonna believe you saved her.
I didn't say I saved her. I didn't save anyone. I directed people back to the ship. If they didn't want to
He
go, I didn't stop them.
he steps closer to you. Emil, but you didn't even have to do that, and you did.
Because you made the point that if we didn't do it, we wouldn't get off the stupid collapsing planet thing that it was. Minus the fact that, of course, then everyone else almost proceeded to die, which also included you.
Yeah, and you came back and you saved us. I
It was a miscalculation, clearly.
Oh, it wasn't. I don't think you really believe that, Emil. Because that's not the first time you've done it.
I think you're reading into things that don't exist.
I think you're willingly choosing to be blind while staring in the mirror. You also didn't need to help me when the Voidborn showed up. You didn't need to follow
You,
the group when we walked to the whatever that building was, the library or whatever. You didn't need to follow me when I chased that kid on that space station.
it was all calculated decisions that,
Mm-hmm.
when thinking in the long run, the other option would have been the worst.
Here's the thing, Ramiro, when I told you the other day that I would come back for you, I meant that. Even if you say you wouldn't, I have faith that you would. Because you have. And judging by my durability, I think you'll do it again.
The only reason that I'm remotely even considering doing it for you is because we made an agreement. That's it. I could care less about every single other person on this ship. And at this point, I don't see any reason for me to want to keep them around.
Why you say that?
They all clearly bring some kind of trouble to the table that I would love to avoid.
Gods, we all bring trouble to the table. Come on. You telling me you don't have trouble?
Do I look like I have trouble?
Yes, you do. Absolutely, you do.
I have
Here's
no
the thing.
trouble here.
Here's the thing. Sure. Here's the thing. All of us have trouble. But there's safety in numbers. We can figure it out together. Whatever trouble you got, we can figure it out. I want to help you. That's why I made that deal in the first place. I want to help you do what you need to do. And all I want is just you to let me in. And hopefully, eventually, let the group in. I don't like that you sit by yourself and isolate yourself. I don't like that. It's never good to be alone. And being around other people will maybe help you realize there's a better life than whatever you're trying to get back to. Supposedly.
Maybe if I was not surrounded by people that, I don't know, call upon the Voidborn. I won't even bring up your whole thing. Gosh forbid. Then you have the three stooges, if you will, that have ties to the Concord. And then, of course, now we find out that Aquamarine is also part of another cult. At what point do you see me wanting to open up or be near any of you?
When your trouble comes up, when you need help,
I don't have
when you're
troubles.
facing an enemy that's too big for you to fight, that's when you want us around. But I think when you really want us around and you won't even know it is when it gets quiet. I mean, you
I
love sitting in
prefer
the
the
kitchen
quiet.
watching Nox cook. If you really liked quiet that well enough, you wouldn't do that. You have
It
to
was
admit, we're
pure
at least
enjoyment
entertaining.
and pure enjoyment and hoping that at some point he fucks it up. But I'm just also impressed that he hasn't yet. Again, it was a joke at first. I was really expecting him to really mess up the food, but then it kept not being messed up. I have not figured out how to put together yet, but that's I do prefer my quiet, my alone. But the reason why I also did not like the quiet of the quiet ring was because it was too quiet. It was not chaotic, it was not rowdy. I do prefer my life at the bazaar because it has all that and more. But I didn't do anything with people. I didn't interact with anyone, well, besides Aaron, but that's under different circumstances. I still was alone. And that's how I preferred it.
Well, I think you should give it a chance to not be alone. Just to see what it feels like. I mean, you're already doing that. That's the thing. You say that you're not, but you are.
I think we see things very differently.
I wouldn't disagree. But here's the thing, I'm a stubborn bastard, and I'm gonna do everything I can to convince you that locking yourself away and being an asshole to people is not the best way to live. Because I know this is surprising to you, but I don't want anyone on this ship to feel alone and isolated. And I don't want that for any personal gain of myself. I just know the feeling, and it's not a good one, even if you think it's protecting you.
What if I told you I found comfort in being isolated and alone?
I would say, um, I would say in certain amounts, that's fine. Um, but we made a deal, so you're gonna be stuck with me trying to fix that until then.
Okay,
So are
fine.
you having a doctor's appointment or something?
I was going to have a conversation with Thorn, but your whole tangent made me forget what I wanted to ask, so
Insight check.
go ahead.
It's a 15.
Ha.
Oh, yes!
I would like to use my inspiration.
Oh, fuck! Yes!
No!
Yes! God
I'm so
bless.
angry. Um, yeah, I mean it's bullshit. But he's going to still carry himself with that kind of like confidence that yeah, he just forgot.
Mhm. Booker will, is Ramiel leaving?
Yeah, he'll probably just start walking back to the crew quarters just because he'll playing with the shtick of oh yeah, I forgot, whoops.
Yeah, as Ramiel starts walking away, Booker will follow him, um, and he'll go, uh, usually when I have like an important thing that I'm trying to remember, I try to like, write it down on my hand or something like that. Maybe you could do that next time.
Uh, Maybe, perhaps. Do you actually write it on your
Um,
physical hand, or do you write it with all your reps on? Because I would imagine that you would have a lot of notes in there.
he he holds out his hand, and you see like smudged writing on his on his wraps. Yeah, they don't really stay very well. I think I'm using the wrong kind of maca. Um, but he will keep following Ramiel and keep trying to talk to him, even if he goes into the tent. Like
Oh God.
he will try to be annoying with this guy until he feels like he's probably not gonna go back to the to the infirmary or whatever.
I definitely he would not go back today. I mean, definitely caught him in his life for sure, but he would not be going back today at all. He definitely at some point would just keep like the amusement slowly kind of starts draining as like if there is a social battery in him, which is usually not even big as it is being absolutely drained by Booker.
It worked. Um, outside of keeping an eye on Ramiel these next few days and trying to keep him from going to the med bay, um, he will he'll hang out with Ren and just try to take care of him, trying to talk with him, make him feel comfortable. But besides that, that'll be what he does for the next couple of days.
Awesome. Hold on. Yep, there was a sneeze cooking in there.
I
Okay.
heard it. Bless you.
Thank you. So, as we lean in, I feel like with the approach towards the med bay, I do want to just say that it may not be seen because the doors is shut, but between the two of you during this exchange that you guys had, there was probably some tinkering and things that you could be heard through the door. Nothing that sounds like quite as industrial as per se maybe outside the engineering bay, but some sounds nonetheless. Not of typical. Thorn's a little more. He likes to write things down, so tinkering is not really necessarily his expertise. But it sounded like something was going on. There's a lot of cursing going on, I guess just say. But yeah, so as we continue settling into the next couple of days of well, hopefully no one kills each other as we continue. However, everything is pretty much just business as usual. Everyone's pretty much set in their roles. Echo herself has been working on a new trajectory, as well as like working with Starfinder on a new trajectory, as well as a few other transmissions and things going through filtering through, I guess I should say, while Starfinder gets us back on track here. Now, for the most part, everything has been relatively business as usual on their end as well. Not a whole lot has come up in the way of hindering our set course. But it's pretty mundane. I feel like aside now, granted, a couple of days of adjusting towards all of the internal dramas, probably a little bit of a different kind of tension. But as far as life on ship aboard the Eclipse, it's pretty mundane. I'm glad to see and hear, well, I guess more here, that chores are continuing because Zara would not really like the idea of anyone of them not getting done, regardless of who is doing them. Still got to maintain a happy ship. Going forward, is anyone spending any particular time in the bridge? Aboard the bridge.
Is that
I
where
think Booker would.
Starfinder would be?
Correct.
Then
Her
probably.
area is up there.
Say, probably see Val there on occasion as well.
Booker too
At
would want
club.
to kind of check in with Zara now and then.
I guess Aaron would be there too, just to check how his brother's doing. But other than that, I don't really have a reason to be there.
Okay. So going into this current day, anyone who would be on the bridge during this time would see a series of kind of Echo kind of monitoring points between her comms room as well into the captain's office. Zara's been spending a lot of time in her office versus being on the bridge in her captain's chair, kind of idling and steering the ship occasionally through any rough patches. Anytime something like that does come up, Starfinder takes over and will effectively steer the ship. It seems like whatever Zara's planning, pretty in depth at this point. Whether that be in talks with Starfinder up on approaching trajectories that may be off course, anywhere she's planning on heading. It seems really rather in depth to the point where there's not a lot of her that has been seen. On the first couple days back on the ship, yes, she was a little bit more present than she was before. Going into these, probably, I would say, like last 3 days, though, she's pretty much just been locked in the office. Between her and Echo, Echo seems... She seems okay. She's herself for the most part. That she doesn't really convey much, well, anything facial expression wise. I guess one of the perks of being a robot. But excuse me, android. Robot is derogatory, as we have stated previously. But
What was
she
it, Robo-Man? Mecha Man?
Mecha Man.
Mechano Man.
Mechano Man. There we
Man,
go.
yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry. Culturally appropriate name to call them.
Correct. But there are a few exchanges between Echo and Zara, a lot of which are not easy to hear as they're in the confines of the captain's office, but a little more rushing about from Echo than normal. Typically, she locks herself away in the comms room and is eyes and ears of everything. That's just where she feels comfortable and where things are that makes the most sense. I will say for those in the bridge here, Dahlia, Val, I feel like you probably spend the most time up there amongst Starfinder, I presume.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time there. She has a lot of energy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you'd probably be amongst this situation as well. There is a brief moment where Echo leaves the comms room and approaches not only the captain's office, but also she reaches Starfinder first. And during this whole scene, you see Starfinder and Echo both go into the captain's office, where they are having I don't want to say like a heated conversation, but it is a very intense conversation. Where Echo is being quite well, her usual quiet self. Very short and concise and to the point. Um and if are any of you on who are on the bridge listening to this conversation, the door I would say is ajar. It's not necessarily closed though, but it's also not necessarily open.
I feel like Booker would look at all of his like inner teammates and and see if they're gonna go listen in.
Exactly being subtle. My
would
big
be a-
ears are just hearing at like a 15 anyway. But
Fair enough.
I don't know that I'm eavesdropping. I think if I can't just like if I have to put forth effort to snoop, I don't think I will, but if they are making enough of a scene that I am able to just glean it from where I have been sitting, then I'm not gonna like flee to give them privacy.
Yeah, sure. Which it makes sense. I mean, although Echo is a very quiet and reserved individual, I mean, we all know that, well, Starfinder is not. So, so it's not like it would be unheard of to hear anything that's happening during this time.
She also wouldn't look judgmentally at Booker if he went to go snoop.
Understood.
That's fair.
Val's up here too, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's just waiting for someone to make a decision.
Okay. Booker will attempt to sneak over and listen.
God, do I try to join or no? Hold on. What is
I
mine?
have a pretty good dex, but
My dex is good. I'm actually let's see, my stealth is like a. I have a +5 to my stealth, so.
okay. I have a +6. Do you want to sneak with me?
Let's sneak. Let's sneak.
Okay, okay.
Well, if y'all are sneaking.
Ooh, 24.
Oh, wait, no. I wouldn't be able to cast a spell. Go ahead.
You did good?
Yeah, I got
All right,
24.
time for me to fuck this up.
Come
I
on,
didn't
Shadow
fuck it
Man.
up.
You can't be that. Yes!
23. I
He's
am
just
your
in the
shadow.
Booker and his very scary shadow friend are silent.
This will be one of those moments where, like, was mentioned before, kind of just glides instead of walking. The legs become shadows and just slides around.
That's awesome.
Okay. Um wow, you guys and your stealth. So listening into the conversation, you see there's, I mean, again, the door is ajar, so I guess on those stealths you guys are even probably peeking in while they're having this discussion. Echo kind of leans over the chair here and pulls up a from her data pad a quick hologram of a few different transcriptions, and she says, "Captain, civilian channels are whispering about fleet mobilization. What do you think we should do?" The captain sits on this for a minute before she looks, at this point, more annoyed than she normally does. Do we have any lot of ships that are avoiding these 3 sectors, but Fear leaves patterns. I don't know. Maybe it's a part of whatever those channels are talking about. I don't. Do you think that's possible? Echo kind of ignores her as she continues typing, and the captain kind of like puts like one hand on her head, trying to figure out if this is as bad as they're kind of projecting it to be. Echo immediately stops typing and looks at the captain and says, "Captain, receiving priority burst transmission." Zara immediately you kind of hear for a second where she grabs like the headset and presses one of the cams to her ear. And you guys who are looking in, you kind of just see her face like go wide-eyed. Like a oh shit. She kind of jumps from her chair and immediately starts moving a lot of the stuff around on her desk. Not necessarily in like a throwing it on the floor kind of a thing, but definitely crazily shuffling them all into drawers and things like that and filing things away. You see her type something on her own private computer before reaching for her comms bracelet, and all you can hear is all officers to the bridge now. And that is actually where I'm going to leave the session tonight.
Oh man.
Understood.
The
And then we
suspense
go
is
right back
boring, bro.
into shit hitting the fan.
Yippee!
We got 2 whole sessions of inter-party
Damn.
drama. Now it's
I didn't
time
get to
to
fight
deal
anyone.
with it.
Why didn't you sign up to fight? Aquamarine was ready to go.
He was in Fight Club waiting.
That's true.
You gotta be louder, fella.
Oh, that's
Dang.
Bella.
That's crazy.
Not only do I get called fella by a person a third of my size, but he makes fun of me being mute too? Why you bully?
I'm sorry. I thought you were busy with the ferret.
You've been hanging out with Ramiel too much. Damn.
I'm sorry. It's rubbing off. It's bad.
Plus, Lucifer doesn't let Val catch him.
First off,
yeah.
you tried to catch him to stop him from doing something. You haven't interacted with him since really then. He's just vibing now. He's in a bowl of popcorn just swimming in there.
Is Lucifer hopping in anyone's pocket this time around? For
we
these
can
couple
definitely
days?
roll for it. Hold on.
Not me again. I used my nat 20 the last time. Although Val is keeping
Definitely gonna
snacks in his
try to steal
pockets
from that
now.
kid.
You have pockets?
Yeah, he has a cloak.
That's where all his swords are.
It's a cloak of many pockets.
No,
Yeah.
no, he keeps everything actually inside of like the weird shadow body. He just has a cloak that happens to have pockets.
He's stealing from Eliora.
Ooh,
He's
wow.
stealing those berries.
Easy mark.
God, those things would fill him up. The one does enough. He wouldn't find no pleasure in this. He's supposed to be a glutton. You can't be a glutton with one of these things.
I once
He'd
knew a
eat one and be
kobold that will
disappointed.
disagree with you.
He really would.
I
How
once
much-
knew a kobold that will disagree with you.
How
Alright,
does
I'll catch you guys
Lucifer have
later.
HP?
Good night.
Alrighty.
Good night,
yeah, he
goodbye,
definitely
goodbye,
has
good
HP.
night.
Goodbye,
Good
bye,
night.
He got a whole stat block. Hold up. Let me pull it up. No, yeah, I mean, like, if he absolutely gets squished by something, like, he does kind of poof for a little bit.
Do you have to summon him? Is he? I guess I'm not really sure what he is.
Yes, he is. He's like a hybrid between like an actual like pet, but also a familiar. But he's not like a typical familiar.
But he can come back if he gets killed.
Yeah,
That's good. Kind of
that's
become
why
our team's
Ramio doesn't
mascot at
always
this
keep.
point.
Other than like maybe losing him, like Ramio doesn't really like go searching for him just because he always somehow manages to be there.
Does Ramiel have to bring him back, or does he? Does it happen on his own?
Well, okay, so we've never been in a situation where Lucifer has been squished. At least not to Ramiel's knowledge. I will put that out there.
He hasn't engaged in combat,
Yeah, no.
I believe. Yeah.
Or maybe he has on one of his own solo adventures. Is a free-willed ferret that had a whole bazaar to run through for years.
Mm-hmm.
But Ramiel
Why do you
wouldn't
think
know
there's not a
because
rat
Lucifer's
population?
always there.
Oh.
Lucifer runs the rat gang.
He's the fucking rat king.
Absolutely.
he's the rat king.
If it's
For
rodent
not a
or
rat.
rodent adjacent, he's the leader.
Which is funny because I don't think ferrets are technically rodents.
No, no, they're not.
Wait, they're not? What are they?
No, they're like a subclass, or like they're what are they? They're similar to cats, which is why you need to get them a rabies
feline?
vaccine. Because no, they're not the feline, but what are ferrets?
Now I'm curious what the like evolution lineage of a ferret is.
Mustelidae or whatever.
They're the part of the weasel family, so they're
Yeah.
meant for hunting rodents. Which is
So
how he
I wasn't
became the
kidding about the
leader of the rat
population
gang.
control.
Are they in the vein of like a badger? Is a badger in the
Yes.
same?
Yeah, they're in the same
Okay.
family as badgers and stuff like that.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
They are also obligated carnivores. So technically speaking, again, he kind of breaks the normal like ferret rules because he's definitely been eating things that are not meat.
He's a magic ferret. He can do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
That's the gluttony.
That is the gluttony. Only like does Ramiel have like control of him like maybe 30% of the time on a good day.
On the low stakes roleplay periods.
Yeah, that's
seems.
literally what it is. After that, I have no control over him.
DM, do you have any other sneak peeks for us for next session?
I'm gonna say no because if I give you literally any hint, it'll
Damn
basically
it.
leak the whole thing. Yeah.
Is
Not the whole,
What if
whole
I-
episode, really.
is Ariana's new big ass gun gonna be done? Smaller big ass gun?
Most likely, yeah.
DM, what if I promised I won't tell anyone?
Yeah, I promise. I promise too.
Then there would be
Yeah,
a
well,
few
what if we
of
all
you.
promise?
Okay, let's see. I can use the word trauma.
Yay!
That could mean anything.
You're
Which one of
absolutely
us?
right.
Trauma for which one of us?
Let's see.
All of
Well, not
us,
Ramiel because he doesn't
probably.
have any. He doesn't have any troubles.
Insight check.
True. There,
She's
definitely.
Remy else said it couldn't be me. Trauma for at
I have
least
no enemies, no problems.
0 problems. 0 solutions.
at least 3 of you.
Oh,
Wait a second.
3 people who are connected.
4.5.
Maybe? That may have a. Oh,
Oh, I'm fine then.
4.5. Is Val the half?
So, Val is not the half. No.
Ah, see? I'm safe.
Am I the half? Because I'm small.
The half is nothing to do with anyone's height. That I can say with confidence.
Well, I'm either the full trauma or the no trauma gang, so
You
I'll be
can't. You're
fine.
not allowed to be the. How do you know you're not the half?
Because he said I'm not the half.
Oh.
Well, I definitely know it's not me, so
Because he said it. Oh wait, the half is Dahlia, guys. Maybe.
the full is aquamarine, right?
Does that make
Sorry.
Does that make 1.5 one person? Because I'm fine with that.
They could impart more trauma
think-
upon Ariana. We will find out.
Val doesn't have trauma. Don't worry about it. He's a perfectly balanced individual. Yep.
Yeah, same, bud.
Yeah. Never mind the fact that he's technically older than the robot who's revealed his age.
How old's
Yeah,
Val?
you live a couple centuries. Who cares? It's space.
Val's old. I'll leave it at that.
You live a couple millennia. It's space.
Exactly. Space
wanna-
things.
Who's the youngest of all of us? If Val is the oldest.
So actually, Val is
Leora?
not the oldest.
Oh, is he not?
Oh, Aaron.
Val is not the oldest.
Oh, right.
Val, Aaron, and Naka are all kind of they're on the older scale, but I don't believe that Val is the oldest technically. It's very close,
I think
but not the oldest.
Val's known age is 500. He doesn't know how long he sat.
Yeah,
that doesn't really
yeah.
count.
That doesn't really count.
How long you sat for what?
For a
That's-
portrait.
Yeah,
Because he has no problems.
exactly. I'm the
Come on, get with the
picture.
program.
I'm the perfect
Jay.
picture of normality over here.
I'm trying to get him to slip it out. Don't give him an excuse.
But my job is to be a chaotic agent.
Yeah.
Is
God
Aaron
forbid
the oldest?
she has any whimsy.
God forbid.
Yes, God forbid it.
Oh,
He won't.
I can't, in my own good nature, take away anyone's whimsy. To me, that would ruin and spoil D&D.
That's a good sign of a good DM right there. A DM that refuses to take away whimsy.
You can ask
Aaron the
Wolf.
oldest
Gosh,
Stupid
known?
ideas are my favorite ideas.
Oh, yeah,
Wolf?
I was asking if Aaron is the oldest known sibling.
That's
Like the oldest
my
known
guess was
age.
Aaron's.
Yeah,
My guess
in
was Aaron is
truth.
the oldest of all of us. Yeah.
If we're going based off of known, yes, Aaron.
Unknown, it would be Val.
That's kind of up to God to decide how long Val was
Sitting for that
in a
portrait.
bad place. Yeah,
Sitting for that portrait.
sitting for a portrait.
Dude,
Damn,
you
I
suck
want
at
to see
this.
this portrait.
Must be very
Come on,
deep.
Wolf.
Hey, in a bad place could just mean caught with his own thoughts. I mean, like if you've ever sat for a portrait.
No, I don't have that portrait money.
Oh, portraits
Berlioz
suck.
did. That's why he looks so sad in his.
Good night, everyone.
Among other reasons.